Hello everyone, we made it to PT Sierra. However, to do stuff here, we're not really ready yet. I've done my best trying to complete as many tasks as I could, and setting up for the inevitable descent, well, ascent in this case, into the desert floors. By creating a smeltery, as well as a crafting hub, where we can store all our recipes. Now, as you can see, or maybe you didn't notice, but the blinking red lights are kind of a dead giveaway here, we ran out of power, which is very unfortunate, of course, especially since all the monorails seem to be down. However, that's not the only issue, really, that we have. There's still like a large amount of small tasks that we need to be doing. So I created a list of things that I want to be completing today. And I think I'll start by hooking up more power generators, but this involves blast mining, as well as upgrading the Atlantium mixture production. The crafting hub is currently lacking storage locations, so we'll have to make those. I also forgot to make processors, as well as electronic components. I don't know how I missed that. And we have a plant matter frames production, which is currently not connected to the system, but that has to go here in order for us to create processors. Then at the smelting hub, there's a lot of work to do. One, I want to replace the quicklime with sesamites powder, because we're not really using the quicklime anymore. Like, we have tons of cement coming from PT X-ray, and I haven't seen a reason to get quicklime other than that. Blast furnaces have to be completely set up. And of course the entire elevator has to be reworked. At PT Victor we have to start on green core production. There was a waterfall, and if you go on top / behind it, there actually is a bunch of stuff, or there looks to be some stuff. And we have to set up a drill bit production. So lots to be doing. And honestly, first things first, we really have to get the power situation under control. I'm gonna make some crank generators and then turn those into tier 2s. My god, this actually goes really slow. Well, I suppose in that case, we can set up some stuff. Alright, the first one's going to be very simple. Ultimately, we want these biobrick diesels. These create the supplies that we need for it. Instead of having it go to the elevator, we'll just have it go into this chest. Alright, the two biggest ones we want are relay circuits, as well as electric motors. I'm debating whether or not we should actually get these hooked up into the elevator, because we're going to need so many of them. But for right now, they'll go into a storage chest. Alright, let's hook these babies up to the system here. Okay, well, it isn't enough, that's for sure. I thought these created a lot more power than they did. I wonder if the power generation that we unlock in PT Sierra will eventually be better than these cranks. And if we can actually use them here, because that would be quite nice. Alright, power crisis averted. It's still not good, it's in the red. So over the course of this episode, I will be making more crank generators and placing those down. While I was waiting, I created this setup real quick. So now we have the electrical components, and they'll be turned into processors. We just have to hook up the plant matter frames to this floor, and then we're good. They're going over into the elevator. They'll be put into level 4. In level 4, they'll be taken out and spit right back into level 5, where they're used for this line. Anyway, that means though, if we go back to our list, add more power, done, as well as add the processors. Done. Alright, next up I want to hook up the plant matter, because that is real quick and real simple. So this is our plant matter frame production. All we gotta do is hook it up to the monorail. So all the excess stuff that all these machines produce from trying to create the Atlantium powder mixture will be turned into frames. Plant matter hookup can be crossed off as well. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, besides these processor arrays, all the other things are being stored in the monorails. It's just a glorified chest, really. Meaning that we basically completed all the storage as well. That means though that the crafting hub, everything is done. Now that sadly was the easiest part, to be honest. Alright, seeing as we're producing so little relays, decided just to add on to it. But they should be running at double the speed, hopefully. Because we're gonna need them for the next project. And actually, we're already pretty much done. We just need to make a crap ton of research cores. Or the green ones, to be exact. Now, smarter thing to do instead of storing it in those boxes, it would be to hook it up to this system here. And honestly, I probably should do that. The problem is, we don't really have any good monorails we can slot it into. Well, maybe this one back here. Hook those up to this monorail. And then actually, this works out pretty good. They're nicely aligned for the elevator. So all we have to do is this, and that should work. Well, that is if we would set up the filters, of course. But there it goes. Let's get all these green cores over to a core composer. And I really should also delete all this old mess that I have. Alright, well, I got rid of most of it. With that, our very first green cores are going into the composers. And yeah, that means we have access to all the green stuff now. Which means that we can produce carbon frames in a second. And of course that means this can be crossed. Whoops. This can be crossed off. Right, I think while we're here anyway, this is the waterfall I was talking about. It's like right next to Victor. As you can see on the map, well, you can't really, but you can see a tiny green dot over there. So there is something behind here. I want to figure out what that is. I see chests over here. A little bit of diesel and coolant. And there seems to be copper here too. It's kind of buried by the sand. And we don't really need an extra copper node here. I'm not really using the one that we have here anyway. Or not anymore. Where does this go? Ah, unbreakable rock. I guess it was just that chest. And some copper, I suppose. There are some chests buried under the water. Seeing as this is Victor though, I doubt that it has any good stuff. But hey, that was a quick one to mark off. Alright, let's set up the drill bits next. I don't want to have a fancy, super automated system for this either. I just want to have good old manual labor here. So it is going to require fresher Mark IIs, steel frames, as well as the Mark IV excavator bits. The only problem would be the freshers, really. And they use up a lot of this stuff, the relays and as well as the motors. Okay, let's set up a semi-automatic version of this. And then I'm just going to put them into this chest for now. I don't want to automate it because that's what I did with these, the Mark IV. And well, as you can see, when you start automating bits, you accidentally make way too many of them. Alright, time to cross this off the list. Alright, next up I want to fix blast mining. Because how I currently have it set up is not very efficient. Well, actually, currently it's not even running. So what I did is I had everything hooked up to one conveyor, which is fine. Up until the point where, you know, the copper was full. And then it wasn't fine. Because that means that the iron couldn't go into the system. Alright, I also want to set up a few extra drills. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think that's going to drill, actually. But this most certainly will. And then I also want to have one set up for Atlantium. May as well set that up here. Alright, these ones are also set up. Now it just has to be connected to the explosives. Alright, that one works. And that one works. Sweet. Right now we just have to set up a couple lines. These have to go to level 9. Alright, and there we go. These should all go to level 9, which is our foundry. Which means we're almost done on this floor, actually. We just need to create more Atlantium mixture. It seems like this is actually backing up quite a bit. Meaning if we just switch out these ones with fast conveyors, or with fast inserters, we should have enough, hopefully, for 2 of these producers. That will double our output, at least. I guess while we're here, let's also upgrade these old conveyors. Alright, there we go. That doubled our production of this one. Now, Atlantium is one of those things that we're actually producing quite a lot of, regardless. We haven't really needed to use it much. But hey, that doesn't mean we cannot upgrade it, of course. And that's done, and that means one big task left. The smelting hub. This one, honestly quite daunting, because we're gonna have to redo some of these conveyors. Now, I already did a couple on this side. We're gonna have to redo the entire back here. And of course, we were gonna switch this one out. So let's start with that, actually. With sesamite powder, I think it makes. I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. No, the gel creates the powder. And that's why you double check. Alright, these two will now do sesamite gel once it's in the system. It's not because we're not producing the sand for it. And these are completely overloaded. I honestly think the best thing to do is craft ourselves a quick blast furnace. Oh, come on, this will not go in here. Was a regular furnace gonna be good enough? Because I know that we can burn some stuff to get carbon, right? Yeah, this creates carbon powder. Nice. Alright, then the question is, were we able to blow this stuff up? Yeah, into quicklime. That is not gonna help us. We're trying to get rid of that. Alright, I'm gonna clean up around here a little bit. Alright, but I think with that, we saved ourselves a lot of slots again. Alright, then we have to go up to the blast smelting. And that is gonna be fun. So I set up a small thing here, but I want to take all of this out and replace it. So I'm thinking of doing... I'm debating though, because we have at least 3 slabs, right? We don't have any more? Not coming, at least? We have gold, but that seems to just come from a regular smelter. Then we have sesamite ingots. Looks like... well, ingots are made in a regular smelter too. So yeah, I only think we have 3 different slabs. We got copper, iron, and Atlantium. Oh, and steel, apparently. Right, but ultimately this means that we're gonna need 4 different smelters. So let's rip all of this out for now. And because we need so much space, I'm gonna do it on the roof. And I would love to set up a monorail system for this as well. That monorail will be responsible for carrying out all 3 different chunks. Right, all those lines have been connected to the elevator, except for one. Now I think about it. Of course, we would also need explosions. Let's start working this out, shall we? Alright, so we were gonna have 2 of these per ore. So that means in total we're gonna need 6. Then we need one side for explosives, one for ore, and on the other side, of course, to take it all out. I kind of made this monorail in a very dumb location. However, luckily, I think we can just delete it. Yeah, and place it in a slightly better position. Alright, the output is hooked up. The explosives are, well, could be hooked up. I'll do that last. I'm just gonna have to figure out how to set up every single line. I think this would work for whatever we choose to do here, probably copper. Well, some of it's gonna hang off the side, I guess. Alright, this might be a bit crazy looking, but everything seems to be hooked up. Let's see, the only one that really matters is the explosives, so I need to make sure that is exactly correct. That was this first one, so I'm gonna hook that up last. In what order the ore chunks will go, doesn't really matter. Alright, time to set it ablaze. Mining charges going. This should semi-equally distribute it, I hope. Alright, copper's going. That's doing a lot of copper. That's because there was quite a bit in there. Alright, everything seems to work. Then all this is getting sent back. And then I guess I never set up the outputs. But there they go. And with that, we have officially done everything on our list here. However, though, this part here, of course, is still full of quicklime. We're gonna have to take all of this out before we could realistically do anything. This is so much. Like, this thing worked like a damn charm, though. Maybe a bit too good. Right, and that should be all the quicklime out, or that should be all the limestone at least out of there. How did it get more? Must have been in transit. How's it still receiving more? I took everything out. Yeah, why you cheating, man? I don't know, but now it seems to be really empty. Then again, that's what I thought a second ago, too. Yeah, how the fuck is it getting more, though? I don't see any of the carts either. It is receiving new shipments, though. Like, were there just that many backed up? Like, there's no limestone to send, man. Just give it up. Right, interesting. I cannot take out any of these items. Right, another easy way of doing it is just to put in a chest. Honestly, though, it's not taking it out. That is kind of scary. I imagine it just has so much in reserve from all the things that were sent. Hey, yo, why you where the heck is all this stuff coming from, eh? How do we still have so much quicklime in the system? Stop it. Where does this keep coming from? It's getting smaller batches, which is good, but how? How is it producing like 50 bloody quicklime at a time? It just keeps going. Can you not, please? I'm trying to get rid of all of this. I feel like this just kind of needs the same treatment to where it goes into a chest instead. A quick way of doing it would just be to replace the entire thing. Once we unlock electric smelters, I'm just gonna turn all of this to carbon powder. Like, from what I know, there's no delete option, so that is the best we could do. For the limestone, however, it's gonna be a different story, because if we smelt that, it just turns into more quicklime. And there goes the third chest. Ah, look at this. This is nice. We are getting very close to level 13, and we're probably gonna be making tier 6s soon anyway. Alright, well, with that, we've done everything that I wanted to do before we tackle PT Sierra. Except hook this one up, apparently. I just decided to put down the chest and call it a day. So that means in the next episode, we got some pumping to do. That's right, we're gonna need a lot of these sand pumps, and we're gonna have to dig out a bunch of sand. Apparently, from what I heard, you have to do this on every floor. So we're gonna have to get power operational here fast in order for us to get all the biofuel here and actually put it into the system. For now though, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.